The new student today. New session began. Everyone was in jolly mood. Especially students. Partly because they were meeting their friends after 30 days of final term break, and partly because they were upgraded to upper class. When Saloni arrived at school, the assembly had already begun, so she rushed to the assembly hall. In the assembly, Principal Sir welcomed everyone and wished a happy studying throughout the year which she had listened to past 10 years when she arrived at this school in nursery. When she entered the classroom, she could feel the new kind of atmosphere which was common for few days of every new session. She ran towards her girls' circle and embraced each other after meeting for a long time. After a while, class was settled as teacher entered the classroom. The teacher announced that there were 2 new students. The new students were standing outside the classroom when the teacher motioned them in. Both of them entered the class. Presence of new students of course brought a new kind of disturbance in the classroom. They introduced themselves. The girl's name was Kamana and boy's name was Sahil. They were from different schools, contrary to what everyone had anticipated. Sahil was mainly the topic of talking among the girls, as Kamana was famous among the boys. As both of them were new and along to that, both were good looking for their opposite sexes. Saloni felt a different kind of feeling for Sahil. She couldn't take her eyes away from him. She was in love with him in the first sight. That's what they call it. During the recess and break, both new students were surrounded by the students to get the peak of their past school life. Saloni got to know about Kamana but couldn't face Sahil as she was awestruck by his presence. The school days went on and Sahil was famous among teachers being intelligent and among girls being dashing and bold. Girls could be heard fantasizing about him and could be heard saying that being his girlfriend would be a great privilege. Almost every girl had a crush on him, like almost every boy had crush on Kamana, but no one directly approached to them. Instead they tried other ways so that even if they are turned down they won't have to be a laughingstock among their friends. Only girl who didn't try any ways to confront Sahil was Saloni, as she knew that she wasn't what boys called hot and beauty. She didn't try also partly because she had been turned down by a boy of her neighborhood whom she had proposed during her last final term break. But Sahil was something different for her. When days went by, many couples were formed in the classroom, including Kamana being in relation with Kappa, a boy with supreme modesty which was rare to find among the boys. But Saloni still wanted to be with Sahil, who was still single. Her eyes searched for him every day when she entered the classroom. Sahil was always on her dreams. He was like what fairy tales tell, the dream prince, for her. Her total attention was towards him, but she never let her feelings leak from her heart, and it was indeed troubling herself rather others. From crush to infatuation. And now she was kind of obsessed with him. She always wanted to sit beside him, being his seatmate, but he had his own seatmate who was his best friend. Only time both could be along was on the chemistry lab. The chemistry sir, Mr. Chetri, had come as a god for Saloni, as he wanted a boy and a girl to sit together so that not to discriminate anyone, and she was lucky and fortunate to be placed with Sahil, which many of the girls envied. In the chemistry lab, the only thing that Sahil had learned about Saloni was that she was good at chemistry and was a girl of tender heart. But he didn't know anything about her feelings toward him, as she never let it out except on her diary, which was her closest friend. Then came the day which lovebirds eagerly keep waiting for a whole year, the day. On Valentine's Day, many approached Sahil, but he declined every one of them, saying that he wasn't interested in making girlfriend and celebrating a certain day to show the love and affection towards each other. He thought it was a superficial way to depict one's love towards other, and Saloni was the only girl who believed in those words, as she herself hadn't believed in superficial love. But she was also the only one who had suppressed her feelings towards him and didn't confront him for the Valentine's Day. Time went by and there came the final term. During term break, she thought that she should express her feelings and say it to Sahil until it was too late, and that she had to regret it later. A time made up of this is that she would talk it out on the results day. On the results day, Saloni got to know that due to the transfer of Sahil's father, the whole family had already shifted to some distant place. The crushing news reached her directly through Sahil's mother, who had only come to the school to collect her son's report card. Worst had occurred to her, and she regretted for not letting her feelings out when Sahil was around her. She was in great pain, which she could not express in any form other than crying, in which even her closet friend, her diary, couldn't do anything. It was very hard for her to forget about Sahil, but she maintained and controlled herself, though she still loved him. The first day of the new session of her final year in school life was cheerful, but she was not able to get rid of Sahil from her mind and heart. After the assembly, where as usual Principal Sir welcomed all and gave well wishes, class started after teacher entered the class. As others, Saloni was thinking that the class was going to be as usual, though a bit tougher than earlier. But the teacher had some surprise for everyone. The teacher announced that a new student was there. Every student were amazed to see a new face among themselves in the final year of school life, as it was very rare, but Saloni had sensed joy in her heart. The new student was not Sahil, but even more bold and dashing boy, a and even before he introduced himself, Saloni already had crush on him, forgetting about Sahil. All of a sudden. Maybe this is what is called the teenage life. She thought, unable to take her eyes away from the new student. The end. Thank you for watching.